So today I want to talk about detachment from your fears and anxieties and surrender to your higher power and divine intelligence. So I have notes written down as always, so I'll be reading some things that I'm learning, and I don't know if the music is too loud. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. Right back. Okay, so this what I'm about to read to you are not my words. These are words from a course that I'm taking, and I'm just going to share my thoughts about it because it really resonates. So, the art of detachment and surrender. Detachment is not synonymous with apathy or indifference, but rather a state of inner freedom and surrender. It is the art of releasing our grip on the outcome and trusting in the divine intelligence of the universe. Paradoxically, the more that we detach from our desires, the more magnetic we become. By letting go of our neediness, fear, and anxiety, we create space for the natural flow of abundance and opportunities. Embracing the power of surrender is a profound act of strength and wisdom. It is relinquishing our narrow perspective and egoic desires to the divine higher intelligence and allowing the divine to work its powerful magic in ethereal ways of which we could not have imagined. I said that last part, that was me. It is through surrender that we become receptive channels for the manifestation of our desires. And so I'm really in a space where as though I'm really practicing detachment from my fears and anxieties and just the fear of being perfect and feeling like I can't show up unless I'm perfect, unless I have everything together, unless I know exactly what I'm going to say, unless I know exactly what I'm going to do, and just really surrendering to the divine intelligence and trusting in my gifts, knowledge, and wisdom to guide me in every moment, and just trusting in my higher power to guide me in every moment, and just surrendering to that divinity and that power. And I just feel like it's so freeing to step into practicing and just embodying surrendering, because it reminds you that you don't have to figure everything out. Like it releases you from having to do everything yourself. You don't have to do everything yourself. There is a divine power working behind the scenes of everything and really putting everything together, and all you have to do is show up exactly how you are, show up and do your best with what you have. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. And to me, that is so freeing, and it allows me to really just show up as I am, because a lot of times we don't want to show up because we see ourselves like, oh, I have to be this certain type of way before I show up. And it's just no, just show up and do your best. All you can do is your best with what you have right now. That's all you can do. And if you can do your very best right now, then that'll get you to the next steps. We stop before we even start. We allow the fear and anxiety of not knowing what to do or not feeling like we're perfect enough to stop us before we even start doing anything. And that'll never get you to where you want to be, because God has made you perfect. You are perfect just the way that you are. And of course, there are things that you have to grow through and you have to still elevate every day. But just do your best every day. Do your best every day and surrender to that divine intelligence that is guiding you and leading you, because you are always okay and you are always safe as long as you can stay in God's presence and stay in God's frequency, and just remember that. And one thing that really helps me is writing affirmations. I say this in like every video. I write affirmations literally every day. It's a part of my morning routine. And I also write prayers every day. And it just helps me remember that God is always present with me. I don't have to be anxious about like making a video or like feeling like I gotta like be a certain type of way. Like no, no. That is such a limited way of thinking, and it's such a limited and narrow way of thinking, and it really just comes from your egoic desires, honestly, and just how you want to be perceived. You have to really allow God to use you in the way that God wants to use you, and you don't have to be like perfect. You already are perfect. Like, you are perfect. Just show up and do your best. Show up and do your best. And I had got this book. I don't even know where I got this book, but it's What Happens When Women Say Yes to God and Walk in Faith by Lisa Turkish. I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher her last name, but this is the book. But I got this book like months ago. I got this book last year in 2024, and I got to like, I'm gonna finish this book, but I just picked it up today because I'm like, damn, I just felt called to pick up this book again. And I was just reading it like during my time in the studio, and it's a lot of things that I highlighted, but I want to read a prayer that she wrote in this book, and it'll help you just expect to feel, see, hear God in your everyday life and in every moment. And the prayer is, God, I want to see you. God, I want to hear you. God, I want to know you. God, I want to follow hard after you. And even before I know what I'll face today, I say yes to you. She says, this simple act of surrender each morning will prepare your eyes to see him, your ears to hear him, your mind to perceive him, and your heart to receive him. This is how to live expecting to experience God. Like, you really do have to live expecting to experience divine blessings, expecting to experience God's presence. You have to seek that every day. You have to remember that God is present with you all the time, and you don't have anything to worry about. Anything that you are thinking like, oh, I want to do, but I'm scared of how people think. I'm scared of that I'm not perfect enough. I'm scared I can't do this yet until I move into my new apartment. I can't do this yet until I get into this relationship. I can't do this until I get this job. Like, stop limiting your experience. God has something amazing for you, and you are qualified. You are probably overqualified to show up exactly as you are and who you are, and really just honestly say yes to heaven. I was singing that song this morning, like it was just replaying in my head. Say yes to heaven. Say yes. I don't even know the song for real. Like, I heard that song probably on TikTok. Yeah, I think I heard that song on TikTok, but I don't think I actually listened to the actual song. But that song was just replaying in my head today, and it's like, you don't have to wait for heaven. You don't have to wait to die to get to heaven. You could have heaven here on earth, and all heaven is just being in God's presence, experiencing the divinity, and the divine blessings over your life. And honestly, just seeing your life through God's lens, seeing yourself through God's lens. Like, I took shrooms like a few months before 2025, and I was at the library and I was trying to make a video, and like I was just overthinking. I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. I'm like looking around, like people walking past. I'm like, I gotta find a perfect spot. It was cold outside. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it on the rooftop at the library. And then it was cold outside. I was just feeling really uncomfortable, and like then the shrooms started like settling in, and the message that I got was like, stop judging God's creation. Like, stop judging God's creation. You are perfect just the way you are. Even if it's not where you want to be, you sitting there judging yourself, shitting on yourself, literally like not saying yes to God, not following those spiritual urges, not following those like divine nudges to do certain things because of a fear, because of a lack mindset, because of a limiting perspective, because of a narrow perspective, because you are just so caught up in your own egoic mind and how you want to identify as, and just how you want to be and how you want to show up, and how you like everything is not just about you. Like somebody is waiting for you to show up as your full self. Give yourself permission so that you could give other people permission as well. We like move through life wanting people to be the way that we want them to be, but we are not really being that ourselves, you know? So really like releasing all of these limitations and all of these fears, and really like turning the focus back inwards. Because although it's not just about you, you have to start with you. It only starts with you. You are the only person that you can control. You are the vessel for for whatever you want to see in the world. For all of the beautiful things that you want to see in the world, it has to start with you. It can't just be like, oh, well, the world isn't like this, so like that's going to cause me to just like be an asshole too. Or like, you know, like if somebody does something wild or fucked up to you, then it's like, then you give yourself permission to also be the same vessel that you are complaining about, and that you are like just the same negative vessel, like just repeating the cycle of being out of alignment with God's purpose for you, and using the world as an excuse to be the way that you are, when God wants you to really walk in full embodiment, walk in his full embodiment and his full perfection. And we can say like, okay, nobody is perfect, you know, like we all make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? But if you are giving yourself, like, I made a video about this like a while ago. I gotta find that video, but I was going off though, cause I'm like, everybody talking about being toxic, everybody talking about how they don't want to be in toxic relationships, how they don't like toxicity and stuff, but are literally toxic, and you use other people's toxicity to give you permission to be toxic, when honestly you should just keep being the person that you are, and that way you will give other people permission to be that light as well. And like it's just like a cycle just keeps continuing. Like somebody does something fucked up to you, so you do something fucked up to them, and then you like, oh, well, I don't fuck with toxicity, I'm not toxic for real, I'm just toxic because this person did this to me. But it's like you are literally answering the devil's prayers by embodying that type of energy, and by stepping outside of your true organic loving light nature to fulfill a negative vessel of energy because of a duality in life that you experience. Just because you experience something negative in life doesn't mean that you have to turn into that negative vessel. Period. Does not mean that. And I feel like too many people use negative things that happen to them as an excuse to be that as well, and then want to complain. Like, that's not what we're here for. And honestly, it's just surrendering to your egoic desires, surrendering to wanting to get revenge and be vengeful. Like, no, like, if you have a pure heart, if you are naturally like a genuine person, like, I'm the type of person where I think everybody is innately good. Everybody is innately genuine, and like, there are a lot of things that we are taught in society and just things that you pick up, but not things that you were born with. And you could get rid of those things. It's just a matter of you actually connecting with spirit and connecting with who you really are. And that's why, like, saying affirmations is really powerful for me, because it reminds me of who I am, regardless of the negativity that's around in the world, the negativity that's around me. Like, I still can keep my spirit, and I can still hold my light in my heart, because that is who I really am. And I'm not going to allow the negative things that happen to dictate how I am going to be. Like, no. But and you shouldn't either. You really shouldn't either. And you should really, like, gain that strength within yourself, gain that strength within your spirit, and just connect with God. And the reason why I say God, and I'm not like Jesus or Allah or Jah, is because I believe there's only one God. I don't care what name you praise. If connecting to Jesus gets you in alignment with your soul's purpose and makes you a better person, then do that. If connecting with Allah gets you in alignment with that, do that. If being Buddhist gets you in connection with that, do that. Like, I believe there's only one God. We are all here to fulfill God's promise and to fulfill God's purpose and to live in the light that we were all born with, because that's just what we're here for, y'all. Like, you can have heaven now. Heaven is just having peace, being grateful, not living in fear. If you are living in fear, like, people feel like they have to die to go to hell. No, people are literally living in hell right now. You can live in hell because you're living in fear. You are doing sinful things. You are just like, you are abiding by things that do not align with your true soul. You are working in a place where you are feeling stressed out and you are feeling depleted. That is living in hell. And I feel like my purpose of, like, sharing my words and my knowledge and wisdom from my soul is to just really enlighten everyone that we can have heaven on earth. You don't have to die to get to heaven. That's like, that's a lie. That's literally a lie. Every time you feel peace, every time you feel love, every time you are walking in faith, you are experiencing heaven. Every divine blessing, every birth, every time you experience something new, every time you get a new thought, you are experiencing heaven. And when you are living in fear, when you are stressed out, when you are just being a negative vessel, when you are complaining, when you are just in distress, depleted, to me, that is hell, because that is not why we're here. When we experience those things, we are here to transmute them. We are all alchemists, but knowing your power will make you a true alchemist and be able to transform any negative thing that you experience in life into something beautiful, into God's creation. Because like, this life is about duality. You're not gonna walk through this life and not experience things of lower vibrations, but it's about how you alchemize those things and how you transform into more of a God-like being. Like, it's really about how you alchemize those things and how you surrender to the divinity over your life and allow God to work. Allow God to work, period. Allow God to work, because a lot of times we try to play every role. We try to do everything, but it's not your job to do that. And that, like, delegate those things to God. Delegate the things that you cannot understand, that you cannot explain. Delegate them to God. Delegate your fears and anxieties to God, because that higher power is much more powerful than you. That higher power can do things and work things and rearrange things and move mountains that you cannot do. And that is it's so freeing, and it's so great, and it's just so relaxing to know that, because it's like, damn, yeah, I really don't have to do everything. Like, I'm divinely guided. I'm divinely guided in all that I say and do. Even if you make a mistake, you know that you are divinely guided through those mistakes. You know that God is only trying to teach you something. And when your perspective is that way, and when you have an enlightened perspective on the things that you go through and the things that you experience, the amount of ease that you will feel within your body and within your mind, within your spirit, within your life it's so worth it. It's like what is fear? What is fear? Why would I ever fear when I have the ease and the safety and the peace of knowing that I am divinely guided, of knowing that God is always present with me? You know? So yeah, even before making this video, y'all, I'm like, I know that I want to talk about this, but I don't know what I'm gonna say. But I know that I'm divinely guided. I know that all my words, all my actions are divinely guided, and just keeping that at the forefront of my ori allows me to just flow, instead of keeping fear and keeping the idea of not knowing what to do, not being perfect, prevent me from actually stepping into who I am, who I'm meant to be, period. But yes, I want to read something else from this book. One second. Okay. Don't we all long to see God at work? Evidence of his activity around us, in us, and through us is the greatest adventure there is. The God of the universe wants to use you. There is but one requirement for this adventure. We have to set our rules and agendas aside, our do's and don'ts, our social graces and proper places, and follow God's command. His one requirement is so simple yet so profound. Whatever God says do it, and that's it. Whatever intuitive nudges you feel, and don't let your egoic mind and how your identity, how you want to see yourself or whatever, get in the way of what God wants to use you for. Because we have all of these plans, but it's this is your plan and this is God's plan. Okay? So, and you have to surrender to that knowing. You have to surrender to that knowing. And that is where the magic and the adventure comes, because you want to know everything, but that is why your life is boring and mundane. And that's why you are stressed out because you're trying to figure everything out for yourself. Boo, you don't have to figure everything out for yourself. Like, that is an amazing thing to know. Like take that as something like a relief. Like, oh my gosh, thank God I don't have to know everything, know how everything is gonna work out, like, period. And then things will be surprising to you. You will have a surprise party every day. You walk through life seeking God, expecting to hear God, expecting to see God, expecting to know God, expecting to feel God. Expect it, seek it, expect it, and you will find and you will have. I want to read this one. Yeah, because the video is about to end. But you see, we have come so familiar with God, yet so unaware of him. We make the mysterious mundane. We construct careful reasons for our rules and sensible whys for our behavior, all while our soul is longer for a richer experience, one that allows us to escape the limits of sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, and a journey to a place of wild wonder and passion. Like, you make excuses for why you want to do the things you want to do, and why you want to act the way you want to act, because this person did this to me and I have to act like this because it is. Like, don't let the world dictate your soul. Don't let the world dictate who you be. Like, don't let the world have that power over you. Like, remember, like, honestly, remember. I'm here to remind you to remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember whose you are. Remember why you are here. And figure out why you are here if you don't know. Because, yes, we are all longing for a richer experience. We all want to experience that enlightenment, that bliss, that passion, that adventure, that wild and freeness. And I feel like sometimes we feel like connecting to God would narrow our experience because everybody is so like toxic and like they're like fake having fun being toxic. Like, nah, the real adventure, the real passion and joy and enlightenment and bliss that you are looking for is through you walking in faith, through you walking in God's purpose for you, and through you walking in the knowing of who you are. And I'm gonna be posting some affirmations. I think I'm gonna do like a little ebook or something. That'll definitely be posted up like really soon, because affirmations are so powerful. They have literally changed my life. Like, if I didn't write affirmations, child, I would probably still be lost, like just feeling lost in my soul. Like, girl, who are you? There's so many things that have changed in my life within the past like 4 years that like writing affirmations really like reminded me who I really am, and also allows me to call in who I need to be, who I want to be, you know? And not for my ego, but just for the enlightenment of my soul, and really just giving myself that love and that nurturement, and just honoring myself and remembering who the fuck I am, because like, I'm really that, period. I have no shame in saying that because I'm God's child, period. You should have no shame in saying that either, like, period. But yeah, I hope this message resonated. I know it resonated. Hope you have a peaceful and abundant day. And yeah, I'm gonna dance my heart out now. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace, blessings, everything nice, abundance.